What's up, guys? Wanted to do this video today about a topic of switching stances, and I feel like it's crazy today with all the fight film people have and the footage people have that people act like switching stances is still bad. Like, and it's mostly a lot of the striking coaches, the old school boxing coaches, maybe the kickboxing coaches that don't. There's a lot of kickboxing coaches that don't take the calf kick serious. They think if they're a Muay Thai coach, they think the calf kick is a joke. But I just think it's delusional thinking. Switching stances is the way to go in today's combat sports, and if we're talking about MMA. Now, obviously, if you're not practicing a lot, let's say you can only practice 2 or 3 days a week, then no, you probably shouldn't be switching stances. You should probably stay in one stance. But if you're somebody who trains 5 days a week and you're trying to come up and be a fighter and pursue this to eventually turn pro, whether your goal is to be in the UFC or your goal is to just to say you're a pro fighter, to fight local, even, and to be honest with you, even amateur, if you're going to have more than a couple fights, even if you want to have 5 or 10 amateur fights, I think it's a good idea to have the ability to switch stances. I think the calf kick has changed the sport drastically, and it's like a lot of people still are delusional and don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit how much the calf kick has completely changed the sport of MMA. A lot of old school boxing coaches won't let you switch stances. For years, I had boxing coaches that wouldn't allow me to switch, and looking back on it, it's very annoying. Even at the time, it was very annoying because I thought it was the right thing to do, and I'm even more convinced now, especially when weapons like the calf kick come out. It's completely changed the sport. It's completely changed the sport of mixed martial arts, and people got to quit acting like it's not realistic. It's not a weapon that doesn't have to be addressed, because there's guys out there right now. Look at prime example. If you go back and watch some old films, look at Mark Hunt versus Bigfoot Silva. The first time they fought. I think they fought twice, if I remember correctly. But I know when they fought, I believe it was in Australia, Mark Hunt, this is a K1 kickboxing champion, got hurt with calf kicks. This is a K1 heavyweight champion that got hurt with calf kicks. Calf kicks have changed the sport. You need the ability to switch stances. And also, there's a lot of different weapons you can have from both stances. Now, I will say this. If you fight an open stance, meaning orthodox versus southpaw or southpaw versus orthodox, where you're in the opposite stance, calf kicks aren't as big of a deal. But if you're in a closed stance, both orthodox fighters or both southpaw fighters, like look at the Dustin Poirier versus McGregor fights when he messed them up with calf kicks. To say that calf kicks didn't drastically play a major role in that is just wrong, because it did. It changed the whole course of that fight possibly. And a lot of that has to do with McGregor probably not used to sparring or fighting other southpaws, because most people are orthodox fighters. But just McGregor was doing some of the right things. He was short checking it. He was turning his leg. But the thing with the calf kick is the damage has already been done. The damage has already been done. So if you take 4 or 5 calf kicks, you can start checking all you want. If you've already taken 4 or 5, it's almost too late. And also, the person throwing the calf kick doesn't have to throw it hard to do the damage. That's why the calf kick is so detrimental, in my opinion, is because if you throw a calf kick 50%, it can still do damage. But if you throw a thigh kick, 50% is not going to do much damage. So you don't have to throw it hard. So if you check a calf kick, the person can take the check and be okay if they're only throwing it 50% anyway. And then once they hurt you enough, then they can really start throwing 100%. Also, just from a boxing perspective, it's crazy to see boxing coaches claim it's not good to switch stances when, like, Terrence Crawford is pretty much pound for pound the best fighter in the world right now, and he switches stances. The best fighter in the world in boxing right now switches stances, and somehow everyone else wants to act like it's a lot of these old school outdated coaches want to act like it's not a good idea. I agree, if you only practice 2 or 3 days a week, you shouldn't be switching stances. But if you're someone that's in the gym 5 or 6 days a week and you really are dedicated to this, absolutely you should work both stances. So I just think more people should focus on switching stances from a striking standpoint. And I'm not saying stay in an entire stance the whole round. If you're not a southpaw, I'm not saying switch and be southpaw the whole round. Maybe switch for 20 or 30 seconds, land an attack, go back to your more comfortable stance. This is also why you should be working defense as well, because you can't just have. A lot of people will work offense from one stance, but they have no defense from that stance when they switch. You should be working defense and offense from both stances. But I do believe switching stances is a big advantage nowadays, and a lot of the high-level fighters are clearly doing it, and it's obvious. So the local coaches or the old school boxing coaches are honestly outdated on a lot of their thought process of a lot of this stuff, because there's tons of high level fighters that are switching stances and showing how beneficial it can be. So don't knock it till you try it. I would suggest, trying it a little bit and see how it works for you. Let me know any questions or any topics y'all like me to go over in the comments. And if you're looking for a martial arts school, get my book, The Ultimate Guide to Choosing Your Martial Arts School and Instructor. I'll leave the link in the description below. Thank you guys.